Hi guys, it's Miss Moxie Box, or you know, Mickey. And I bet you've noticed that I have a bookcase behind me, and it has books on it. That's right guys, I moved. And I have books behind me now like a real booktuber. Yeah, I'm a book potato for sure. A real for real book potato. Welcome to a catch up and a week's wrap up. So basically I just wanted to show you guys my bookcase and tell you I've been moving, and that's why, you know, you're not getting a fun thought through review thing today. But you're going to hear about the books I've read in the last week and my basic opinions on them. So guys, in the last week I read 6 books and we are going to talk about them. And by talk about them, I'm gonna give you a little wrap up of what I read and what I think and what I know and I don't know. This is fun, we'll see. The first book I read this last week was Hereville, How Mirka Got Her Sword by Barry Deutsch. This is a great little graphic novel. It reads, yet another troll hunting 11-year-old Orthodox Jewish girl. If that line right there doesn't catch you, I don't know what will. So this is definitely more of an elementary school middle grade book. Look at that beautiful inside, the innards of the book. This book contains a girl who runs into a pig and they have this whole giant like enemy pig versus girl thing going on. You know, because pigs can be your enemies. And there's knitting contests, and it's just a general fun little romp in a place called Hereville with a girl who is striving to be a rebel. My second book is also a graphic novel. This is Swallow Me Whole by Nate Powell. This is a book about 2 teenagers dealing with schizophrenia, and it's not really quite recognized that they have schizophrenia till later, and it's just them going through this, and they have a mother who's hallucinating. It captures things through their perspectives, so you see how they are seeing things, how the world appears to them. So you'll have these really dark, intense pages where you're just like captured by this frog's eyes and you kind of feel like how they're sinking into it. And it's kind of it's a book that makes you uncomfortable, and some of the writing, some of the little like cartoon font things are very hard to read. And so you have to like get in close, and it kind of makes you feel like that sense of like difficulty living with all these loud teenagers who talk about this or that surrounding you and going to high school, and how all these people seem to just be so against your point of view, and it's really interesting. But you know, of course, I'm interested in psychology and mental illness, so I thought this book was really interesting, and I thought the perspective was really interesting in the way that the art caught that and like showed that. So yeah, this is a good graphic novel. My third book out of the 6 is another graphic novel. Surprise, surprise. Don't worry guys, we're going to be talking about some things that aren't graphic novels in a minute. So the next graphic novel we're discussing is called How to Be Happy by Eleanor Davis. Doesn't this look like a happy book? Well, it's not. This is kind of more unsettling. There's a lot of weird little short stories in here that capture like weird things going on. It's not a book about how to be happy. So if you're looking for some self-help books, this is not it. This is more so going to leave you feeling a little perturbed. You could focus on each of these little short stories for forever. Like this could take you forever just to like try to like gouge the full meaning out of every little story. It's a complex book, guys. Complex graphic novels. And now we're going to discuss I Was Told There'd Be Cake by Sloane Crosley. This is a collection of essays just talking about her life in New York and growing up and going to a Christian camp as a Jewish girl and playing Mary in a play and the reaction between that. And it also covers trying to get into the book publishing industry, the publishing industry in general. There's also essays that discuss, you know, having a collection of ponies under your sink. It's fun. I found it pretty humorous. I've noticed on the reviews that not everyone was as taken with this book as me, but I kind of, I guess, related to some of the things she said. These essays are kind of witty. I enjoyed them. Yeah, I was told there'd be cake, and I think it's kind of a cakey book. I now want to discuss with you guys A Time to Dance by an author whose name I will probably not pronounce correctly. I believe it is Padma Venkatraman? Venkatraman? Venkatraman. Maybe. A Time to Dance is a YA novel in verse about a girl in India who really wants to be a professional dancer, and she's worked very hard, and she's just had this big recognition for her dancing, and she's going to do amazing things, like she's slowly winning her mother over to her side when she's in a car accident and she loses part of her leg. It grows her understanding of her love to dance to a higher level, takes it even to a spiritual plane, and she comes into her own being. This is a really quick read because it's a novel in verse, and it's a rather lovely read. The last book I read this week was a middle grade novel called The Care and Feeding of Humans by Laurence Yep. This is a book about a dragon, and she has pet humans, and her latest pet human, Fluffy, has died. Of course, Fluffy is not her actual human name, it is her dragon pet name. So the dragon bonds with the little girl, and they run around and they get into some hijinks with a magical sketchbook. Just a dragon and her tiny little, like, 10-year-old pet human, I believe. Yeah, teensy tiny child. So I enjoyed everything I read this last week, different levels to it. I just wanted to catch you guys up on my life and give you some sort of video since I am in the midst of finals week and unpacking still. So I will be back next week with more stuff. So you know guys, like, comment, or subscribe, and this has been Miss Moxie Fox, so bye friends. Bye. The first book I read this last week was Hereville, or How Mirka Got Her Sword. There may not be an or in there. Yeah. Hereville, or how... There's no or in that. Hereville, or how... I don't know. Yeah, maybe that. So now we're going to discuss I Was Told There'd Be Cake by Sloane. Dragon's Guide to the Caring and Feeding of Humans. No, not the caring. And my hand keeps doing this.